Roserade is an amazing Pokemon for Spring Cup, and that's mainly because of its ability to get there to those weather balls pretty fast, while its nuke move is always a grass one, so it can help you up against all of those water types that exist in the meta. Not only that, but also it might look glassy, but at the same time it can provide so much damage output for your team that your opponent will definitely cannot handle it. So without any further ado now, cue the intro. Let's begin today's content with Roserade up in front and let's see it in action. Empoleon is a very bad lead for us because we do not even have that bullet seed. Instead, we're gonna use Poison Jab, which is resisted by a lot by Empoleon, and at the same time their Shadow, which means that those Steel Wings are gonna hurt us for extra damage. So here comes now Dugong on the switch, and of course we got Poliwrath over that Pokemon. I know that the first move can always be taken, so I'm just gonna take the Ice Wind as it seems, and right after we will try to throw right on the CMP because they always need 5 of those Ice Shards to get to the first charge attack, while they need 4 for the second, so that's why I knew they were gonna throw. Anyways, here they can still survive, but at the same time they throw just the Ice Wind, which means that another Ice Wind is coming up from our Pokemon to theirs, and this time it is going to be super effective up against that poor Serperior. So with that in mind now, we'll try to suck the remaining energy that they have on our Roserade. It doesn't matter at all because as it seems Empoleon might be on a very good spot to sweep whatever remains at the back, not only Serperior but also Empoleon. Over farming a little bit extra here right on the CMP level, and now Drill Peck will finish off that poor Serperior. So as it seems, those Steel Wings cannot hurt us at all, even though we're getting super low on HP. So my plan here is to keep that amazing damage output that we have for the double Hydro Cannon, one to drop them pretty low and one more to secure the victory against a very skillful trainer. Into the next one now, trainers, and this is one of the best battles that I had this entire season, and that's mainly because they're having a Confusion user Golduck, which is a Pokemon that this team will not appreciate at all. Not only up in front but also at the back we're gonna struggle a lot, and they still have that Shadow Victory Bell coming in. You know what, I'm just gonna keep going at it with my Roserade because I got a feeling that I can easily farm down with those Poison Jabs. Down they go. Now I'm expecting that Golduck for sure to return into the battle, and I will press my Grass Knot over here. This move will definitely take them out, so they have to block, and right after we need to rely all of our efforts on our Empoleon. So by blocking once that heavily pressuring Cross Chop, we managed to get almost the knockout, which is not that good for us. I was surprised that they survived the Drill Peck. I thought that Shadow Golduck is super glassy, but as it seems they aren't, and of course right after we meet up with a Mawile at the very end. So here comes now a move, and I have a feeling that we can still survive it, and at the same time we can farm down with the Steel Wings. For a moment I forgot how we could actually win this one, because after the power up punch perhaps they could farm us down with that attack stat being boosted, but as it seems that makes no difference at all, and we're still gonna take that victory. Anyways, Tentacruel now in the next one, and we're gonna have a rough lead for sure. Able to switch out here to our Shadow Poliwrath, and of course Dynamic Punch is the main way to go up against that poor Lantern. I could easily block here and still farm down, but knowing that they have the Tentacruel, I realized that I still stand no chance at all. So here comes now my Roserade, able to farm some extra over the Lantern, and even though we're getting super low here, we can still manage to get our hands on the Grass Knot. They want to block, and at the same time I was hoping that I could get my hands to another Grass Knot, but unfortunately we cannot, and that's gonna be just the Weather Ball. So my Empoleon is gonna come into the battle now, and we have to hope that they have something weak to our Pokemon here, and knowing that the Lantern is out of the way, nothing else can be that horrible. So Roserade at the very end, which is pretty great for us since now we have kind of the energy advantage and the shield advantage, and we're just gonna keep going at it with a potential double Drill Peck. So I'm just gonna block twice whatever they throw. I do not want to risk it at all. So here comes now my first Drill Peck, just for the shield I guess, and one more right after to secure that amazing knockout towards that victory, and of course we can grab it with our Empoleon. So Tomino, our next opponent, I okay, I have no clue who that is, but still we're just gonna keep going at it with Roserade up against a Walrein. This is not that great, but still this is an ABB team style that you need to aggressively switch in there with your Poliwrath and see how your opponent will react, because you want to draw out that Lantern at all costs, and in doing so you can let your Empoleon have the upper hand on the closing scenario. So down we go eventually to those sparks, but still they have 0 shields, and we can easily farm down here without spending any sweat at all with our Roserade. Now they switch out to their own Roserade, and this is a huge mistake, because my Weather Ball will definitely finish them off, switching out of there now to my Empoleon, and with a shield advantage I'm pretty sure that we can absolutely wreak havoc on their defenses, especially up against the Shadow Walrein. So here comes now my shield. We managed to block the Icicle Spear, but still we're getting super close to another charge attack, this time the Hydro Cannon for the flex, so down they go. Lantern will just throw a move here, but to be fair, it will make no difference at all, because Roserade is still alive and we can easily farm down with the following poison jabs. Into the next battle now with Atropius up in front. This Pokemon is still gonna be troublesome with those air slashes, but you can see that we exchange heavy damage outputs on those fast attacks, and at the same time, if they're getting a little bit too greedy that they get over here, we still manage to get our hands on the second Weather Ball to finish them off. I'm just gonna try to take the move here because they have no shields at all, and I know that my Empoleon will actually be on a very good spot up against them by completely farming down, just spending 1 shield in the process. And now that they come into the battle with their Poliwrath, I will immediately throw my Drill Peck and then switch out to my own Poliwrath. With this way, we manage to have the upper hand over them, because even if they get here to the Icy Wind, whatever they have at the very end is still gonna be a troublesome Pokemon for them. Because here comes now the Tropius. I have a feeling that if I block here, I can easily farm down. Down they go. It all depends on the final one, and here comes out of nowhere the amazing Dugong. They were severely weak now at that third Pokemon to my Poliwrath, so a double Dynamic Punch will definitely seal the deal, even though we are debuffed. Trevenant now is a lead that they can do so much damage with those Shadow Claws, because we're super glassy with our Roserade, but in doing so they need to spend some shields in the process. So I'm just gonna throw here my first Weather Ball, and they're gonna block, which is obviously the only choice that they can do. And right after, we're just gonna keep going at it to the Weather Balls, because I know that we can outspeed no matter what at all times. So here comes now another move, and of course this time they will finish us off, because I want to keep that final shield for the end game and perhaps for my Poliwrath. So I'm just gonna take the move here, whatever they throw. I do not care that much about Empoleon. Most probably Poliwrath is gonna be the main Pokemon that we need to succeed in this battle. So Dugong now comes in. Perhaps I could switch out immediately to my Poliwrath because I threw some crucial energy on the Dugong, and now at the back they have a Serperior. So as it seems here, we can easily farm down with our counters after that first Icy Wind, and this is why I enjoy using Shadow Poliwrath so much. But instead they can still reach here to the Aerial Ace to almost finish us off. Hopefully though they do not after that debuff from that Icy Wind, and of course the Dynamic Punch will grab a very rough victory for us. Into the final one now for the video, and of course we're gonna be meeting up with a Ferrothorn. This is a pretty common lead, and this is why I decided to include it in this video. Kinda good for you as well, so you can always rely on that Weather Ball to almost one-shot down that Ferrothorn. So Tentacruel now on the switch. This is absolutely wonderful for us because we're having our Empoleon coming in pretty clutch over here. It all depends now on what they actually might be having at the very end, because whatever it is, we can have the upper hand with the other two Pokemon because of perfect alignment. Lantern joins the party here, but because we got the switch advantage, we can absolutely get the higher ground with the perfect switch to our Poliwrath, able to grab. I was hoping at least that Flash Cannon, but instead they throw Mirror Shot. A little bit of FPS drop here as you saw. I'm not sure if we lost any counter at all, but still I definitely lost track of energy, so I'm just gonna throw here the Icy Wind in a potential shield grab out of my opponent. So I'm just gonna take the following move. It ends up being the Power Whip this time, and we get destroyed down. But at this time all we need to do is to survive the following mirror shot, and right after we can have the upper hand with a double grass knot. So here comes out the first one, able to grab the shield and do one more to almost secure the victory here, or at least I'm hoping to. Let's see if that is gonna be enough, and it is. Down goes Lantern, we can grab an amazing victory to end this video with that amazing nuke. So that is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for sticking around till the end. Before you go, leave a huge like as always, subscribe to the channel if you are new to my content, and over here I have 2 videos for you to check out. Feel free to check them out, and I will catch you up later into the next one.